Ramping up the fight against ISIS, the U.S. is sending around 200 more troops to Mosul to help our Iraqi partners defeat the terror group. This is according to a U.S. defense official. Here now is Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, Fox News military analyst and the host of War Stories. You say there are short-term and long-term concerns about this. Like what?
Well, let's see. First of all, you're absolutely right. 200 is roughly two parachute infantry companies out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, the 82nd Airborne Division. Melissa, this is all part of what President Trump said he was going to do, and that's destroy ISIS fast. As of right now, there's probably 2,000 to 3,000 ISIS jihadis holed up in Mosul, and maybe about that number in Raqqa. And the U.S. commanders are no longer constrained by the Obama rules of engagement, or ROE, and his troop limits. So the total is still classified, but it's about 1,000 Americans in Syria and just about 6,000 in Iraq. And they're waging a two-front campaign. ISIS in both places, Mosul and Iraq. The push is to get forward air controllers further forward because of what happened last week where you had an errant airstrike kill a bunch of civilians. That's going to put more Americans in harm's way. They're prepared for it. They've been wanting to get more actively engaged to begin with. Unfortunately, ISIS continues to hold about 700,000 human beings as human shields in Mosul, and about the same things happening in Raqqa. Not quite the same rules of engagement in Raqqa as you've got for what's going on right now. When Prime Minister Abadi was here, and I know you've got a SOT for him, but he's dealing with the immediate concerns. The ISIS squirters, if you will, escaping to other cities in Anbar province. And, of course, he knows that once this is over in Mosul, it's going to continue to fight a low-level insurgency and terrorism. Probably we're going to see a lot more of what we saw last week in London.
Let's play that soundbite that you were talking about. I'll ask you to react on the other side. Let's listen.
I can see a very powerful determination to defeat Daesh.
But more determination with President Trump than President Obama.
Well, yes, I can see that determination. President Obama didn't want to get involved in the first place.
Those are tough words. He now says that he thinks that it could be, you know, what was it? He thinks that this war is near an end in Iraq.
Matter of weeks.
Matter of weeks,
remember,
right.
There's 52 weeks in a year. So
right.
I will tell you, based on what I've seen out there in all these trips, most recent one back in November, June or July is likely for at least getting rid of most of what's in Mosul, some of what's in Raqqa. But the reality of it is it's going to be around for a long, long time. So the long-term problems, Melissa, what happens in Syria after ISIS is gone? You're going to have some kind of Arab Sunni peacekeeping force. Is that going to come from Egypt or Jordan? Will the Saudis pay the cost? Number two, what if Maliki wins the next election and gets rid of Abadi? He'll have to do it with Iranian help, and that'll have us out of there again. Number three, what's Turkey going to do about the Kurds? They've got a big fight on their hands if they start war against the Kurds. And number four, what if ISIS does a deal with al-Qaeda to reconstitute as a single Sunni terror organization? Those are four major concerns you got to hope somebody is looking at.
Yeah, that's really bleak, Colonel. I mean, that really paints a picture that it's not over anytime soon. I guess what I'm hearing from you overall is, you know, his point was that President Obama didn't want to be there in the first place, and you're saying that whoever's involved now has to have a lot of resolve, and it's going to be a long haul.
It's going to be a long haul.
Yeah.
I hate to start a Monday that way, Melissa, but reality it's a good wake-up call.
A wake-up call. There you go. Colonel Oliver North, thank you.